Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this traditional yearly tradition here in Mesa County on the western slope to the ThanksGVIN Interfaith service. I am Reverend Wendy Jones, and I am the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Grand Valley. And I welcome you here tonight, whether you are joining us in person or whether you're joining us via Zoom. We welcome you to this yearly tradition through the Grand Valley Interfaith Network. And the Grand Valley Interfaith Network, known as GVIN, is a community of historical churches and congregations, faith agencies, spiritual communities, and other established religious traditions in the Grand Valley of Western Colorado. We come together every month to care for our community, care for the valley through food drives, through this interfaith service, and through a network of friendship and community. So we welcome you here tonight for our service called Cultivating Community. And I am thrilled to welcome you here. I would like to offer a welcome that is traditional here at this Unitarian Universalist congregation on Sunday mornings. This is our traditional welcome that we say here. We welcome you here. No matter your age, your size, or how you speak, you are welcome here. No matter the color of your skin, your hair, or your eyes, you are welcome here. No matter whom you love or how your family is composed, you are welcome here. Whether your ability to contribute comes in the form of time, talent, or treasure, you are welcome here. No matter how you express your gender identity or whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. Come with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands. You are welcome here. And now I invite Melinda Beach to offer our land acknowledgement tonight. Melinda, you need to unmute yourself. Go ahead and try it now, Melinda. You should be able to.
There we go. We acknowledge that this land where we gather to worship tonight is the land of the Ute people, and before them the Pueblo ancestral people. They lived and cared for these ancestral lands prior to being removed to clear the way for colonial settlements. We acknowledge their connections to this region in Colorado and give thanks to the Southern Ute Nation for this place to work, to worship, and to pray. Please spend a moment in silence to pay respect for the elders and their ancestors as we send gratitude to the Native peoples who continue to be leaders in our community.
For the beauty that surrounds us, that is far beyond our knowing, from the breezes through the pines that set the desert grasses blowing, for the love that reaches out across the grand expansive west and connects us all as one. Oh, we are blessed. the splendor of the seasons as our planet keeps on turning. From the snowdrifts in the mountains to the desert hot and burning. For the wonder of the earth that reaches out across the west and connects us all as one. Oh, we are blessed. Oh, we are blessed. Share we now our deeper purpose, dreams of what tomorrow brings, like the fire of our chalice, lift us up and give us wings. For the passions that define us and sustain our deepest being, for the open minds and hearts that open up our way of seeing, for the vision that's inspired by our home here in the West and connects us all as one. Oh, we are blessed. Oh, we are blessed. Oh, we are blessed. Oh, we are blessed.
Hi. Do you want me to go ahead, Wendy?
I introduce Anna Scott now with the Center of Spiritual Living. Go ahead, Anna.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Reverend Anna Scott with Center for Spiritual Living, Grand Junction. I'm the minister there, and I'm just here to share with you writing about cultivating community. An African proverb reminds us that alone we can go faster, together we can go further. What I know is, as we celebrate this Thanksgiving season, we keep in mind the community, you, that has brought us here. Together as members and friends of GVIN, we work in harmony with one another to envision a continually expanding world that is indeed celebrating the true meaning of Thanksgiving and gratitude. So beyond all the happenings in the world, beyond the pandemic, beyond our grief and hurt, beyond our shock and disbelief, what I know is there is a loving universe brimming with good. And sometimes we get so caught up in the daily aspects of life that we miss the beauty of it. So tonight, I ask you to join me in thanking nature, thanking existence, thanking the universe or God for support. You know, at times it seems like the world is just falling apart, but yet here we are. We live through our difficulties and our challenges. And tonight we take time to be present to thankfulness. We thank our universe for the opportunity to be born into this life, this incarnation, this time to spend with loving people like each one of you. We are grateful for expressing our divinity and our love, for our beautiful and inhabitable planet, for the scientists and citizens that are working diligently to restore balance to our climate and ecosystems. We are grateful for the plants and the trees, for all of the species of animals and fishes and birds, for various landscapes, the mountains, the deserts, the oceans and seas. The clear water. We're grateful for these amazing bodies that we use to experience life. We're grateful for our arms and legs that allow us to work toward a better life for all people. We're grateful for our brains that allow us to think, for our consciousness. We're grateful that we are committed to serving and working towards serving others. We're grateful for our eyes that see the beauty of this world, for our ears that hear the music, for our noses that enjoy the fragrances. We're so grateful for all of those that have taken care of us since our birth, for the people that still nourish and support us. We're grateful for those people that show us love. At the same time, we're grateful for those people who have been critical of us, that have helped us grow. We're so grateful for the growing consciousness of good that is expanding on this planet, for the opportunity to be surrounded with so many people who allow us to grow in spirit, no matter how we choose to do that. We're grateful for various beautiful moments and for challenging moments. We're grateful for the gift of meditation that allows us to be present and slow down to help us remember our own true nature. We're grateful for the many helpers and teachers and guides that work to support equality and justice for all people. We're grateful for the active compassion, which is the practice of joining personal responsibility with social conscience for the good of all people. We're grateful for learning about and fully embracing people from many cultures and walks of life, helping us to create a true global community, a world that does in fact work for all people. We're grateful for open communication, for honesty and sincerity, and the love that we have for one another. We are here tonight, cultivating community. Yes, together we go further. Thank you.
I now welcome Dave Edwards from Shalom.
My words tonight are based on the writings of Gila Ratzabi, Sarah Stock Mayo, and Rabbi Sharon Stiefel. The earth is God's and all its fullness, the world and those who dwell upon it. Psalm 24. Thanksgiving is complicated. On the one hand, we are drawn to the nostalgia of family meals and the traditions we grew up with. But at the same time, we celebrate a day that for many Native Americans is a day of mourning. This prayer takes its inspiration from the verse in Psalm 24, "The earth is God's." We begin by acknowledging that this land belongs to no one. We then honor the ancestral Native peoples who cared for this land, followed by our own immigrant ancestors who endured hardship to come here. Finally, we state our commitment to sustaining the land for future generations. This land belongs to no one but God. The earth was here before us and will endure after we are gone. Let us walk gently upon this precious earth, taking only what we need, leaving little waste, nurturing the soil, revitalizing the land to sustain future generations. This land we dwell upon today is the ancestral land of the Ute. We acknowledge their historical roots, the many generations who are stewards of this land. We hear the echoes of their prayers to the great Mother Earth and seek to learn from their wisdom. We acknowledge the history of pain, disease, and bloodshed the Native peoples endured when they were colonized. Let us look history in the eye and accept its faithful truth. Let us honor the memory of those who died on this land who lost their sovereignty. Let us honor the Native people who to this day keep their sacred traditions and culture alive and seek to reclaim, reassert, and revive their sovereignty. Our ancestors who came to this country from Europe, Africa, and Asia, often enduring hardship that laid the foundation for our freedom. We acknowledge their sacrifices so that we could enjoy better lives. We commit to sustaining this earth so it will continue to sustain us, our children, and our grandchildren. We commit to give more and take less from this fragile earth. When something positive happens in my life that I am not expecting, it feels like a gift. This is grace. At the core of the concept of grace is that we did not create ourselves. The paradigm of evil arises when we see ourselves as our own creators. There is a word for this gift, grace. Grace conveys that all that which we do not earn, but nevertheless receive. As we approach Thanksgiving, the topic of grace is apropos. Our very existence is a product of grace. We humans have breath, and we did nothing to deserve it. Grace elicits gratitude. Gratitude is not a feeling, but a posture in orientation towards life. A grateful heart overflows and generates an urge to pay it forward. We want other people to have what we have. We are grateful, and we will share with others. We don't hoard or take more than we need. The cultivation of gratitude is the opposite of the assumption of entitlement. Gratitude is about what I can, not about what I can get, but rather what I can give. Thanksgiving is a time when we pause and take into account our many gifts. When we realize we have abundant grace, we are moved to profound gratitude. It is that gratitude that hopefully leads to generosity. Thanksgiving is literally thanks that results in giving. Wishing everyone a Thanksgiving that allows us to reflect on grace, experience gratitude, and offer our generosity.
And now I invite Helene Mortensen up from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Good evening. It's so great to be here with you tonight and celebrating this Thanksgiving time, this Thanksgiving week. I love this season. It's a time that we get to reflect the many blessings and the many beautiful things that are ours in our lives. Not that we necessarily did anything to deserve that, like Dave just said, but things that we can be grateful for. I love the theme that we have chosen for this meeting tonight, cultivating community, stronger together. As I was thinking about this theme, I was drawn to the idea of the redwoods. I want you to think for just a minute about those big, big, big tall trees that you see in the sequoias. They are reaching heavenward. Am I still going? Oh, I am. They are reaching high, they are tall, they are heavy, they are large in size and stature. And as I was learning about them, some of them are over 2,000 years old here in these forests. They also can weigh over 1 million pounds. They're also 300, there are some that are 300 feet tall, which is about 30 stories. And as I was thinking about that, I thought, how do you structure something in a root system or foundation to hold that, that stature? And as I found out, these trees are very, very shallow rooted. They only have root systems that go 3 to 6 feet below the soil. And if that was their only measure of strength or support, they would not stand through the trials of nature. But what's a beautiful thing that I thought kind of ties into our theme tonight is this root systems, they start broadening out. They trickle away from the trees about 100 feet, and they find their neighbors and they find their friends, they find their community, they find other beings that are not necessarily like them, but are near them, and they reach out, and all of a sudden it's a webbing effect, and their roots become intertwined, and they are webbed together, and they strengthen each other. And I thought that is what we need to follow. We reach out to our people in our community, in our churches, in our neighborhoods, beyond those boundaries, and support each other and love each other and help each other, because being alone in a world that is full of hardship, it is not great to be isolated and alone. Even though I know we love to be independent, it is also awesome to be interdependent and focus our time, our energies, our talents with other people in our community. And with that being said, I have two friends that are presenting a musical number for us tonight, Kim Yerkes and Marcia Waugh, and they're going to share a message with you also that I think that you'll love, that talks about this connectedness, about being a light, being that person to those in our community and around each of us. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Time full of glory, peace, and a time full of doubt, just believe. Now there ain't that much difference between you and me. In a time full of war, peace. In a world full of pain, be a light. Do somebody wrong, make it right. Don't hide in the dark, you were born to shine. In a world full of pain, be a light. Things that need to change, make a difference. In a time full of noise, just listen. Life is better free, it's better live it. In a place that needs to change, make a difference. In a world that's full of hate, be a light. Do somebody wrong, make it right. Don't hide in the dark, you were born to shine. In a world full of pain, be a light. Place that you can't win, slow down. You only get one go round. 'Cause the finish line is 6 feet in the ground. In a race you can't win, just slow it down. In a world full of hate, be a light. Do somebody wrong, make it right. Don't hide in the dark, you were born to shine. In a world full of hate, be a light. It's hard to live in color when you just see black and white. In a world full of hate, be a light.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And Sherry Cole was going to do our beautiful meditation for us tonight, but she is a little bit under the weather. And so one of my favorite meditations that we do in the UU congregation is called a meditation on breathing. So this comes to you tonight from our UU choir. It's called a meditation on breathing. And as we get started, if you all just want to take a few deep breaths as we breathe in and we breathe out, and we enter into this musical meditation.
To hear it.
I'm that you pay food.
Yes,
That.
yeah.
It's been off.
One of our traditions here at the Thanksgiving service is that we always take an offering that we then share with a nonprofit in our own Grand Valley. And I am pleased to announce that this year the offering will go to Habitat for Humanity of Mesa County. In your chat, I believe the very first chat is a link to their Habitat for Mesa County's website and their giving page. If you would like to at any time tonight or tomorrow or any time, either write a check to Habitat for Humanity or just check that link. That will be gratefully accepted. And now I am going to invite Kirk Graham to come up and just share a little bit about what Habitat does here in Mesa County. Just need to make sure I'm unmuted. Come on.
Okay, I'm on. Gotta look down here, as Wendy said. Hi, I'm Kurt Granum. I love the era of Zoom. So I appreciate being here for the community integration and cooperation event, because Habitat for Humanity of Mesa County is really founded upon community efforts. We started with volunteer opportunities in 1991, and each of our affiliates are independent, so we all rely upon the community to give volunteer hours, to donate to us, whether it be time, money at the restore, but it is very important for us, and that's the only thing that helps us survive. At this point, we built more than 80 homes in Mesa County, and helping people achieve home ownership. And it really is a group like all of you here and on Zoom that are helping us continue our efforts. So we appreciate any opportunity that we have to be part of this and welcome being part of this community. Habitat for Humanity is a Christian mission, is our foundation, but we accept anybody based upon whatever faith or lack thereof, and race, gender, all those things. We accept everybody, and so we just work with them to try to get them into homeownership because we really want people to get more stable life. So thank you very much. I'll try not to trip on my way out. The wrong way, I guess.
And now, as we gratefully receive this evening's offering, whether virtually or in person, like I said, there is a link in your order of service if you've downloaded that. There's also a link in the chat right now, and Kirk, I'm assuming you guys would take checks.
Yep.
They would happily take checks made out to Habitat for Humanity of Mesa County?
Yep.
Okay. And as we enter into this grateful time of offering, our Interfaith choir is going to offer us this musical note right now. Oh, shalom.
Oh,
And now I invite Joan Brighton up, and she is speaking for the Baha'is of Grand Junction.
Hello, everybody. Those of you who are really here in person and those who are somewhere in Zoom land or YouTube land. I love that the gentleman from Habitat for Humanity that called this the era of Zoom. We're in the era of Zoom, but we still love to be together in person. And it's such an honor for me to be here with you this evening in this lovely Unitarian Universalist congregation sanctuary. And I'd like to express thanks on behalf of everyone for Wendy Jones and her team members for hosting this wonderful celebration of our interfaith unity. I'd like to share a few thoughts with you from my perspective as a member of the Baha'i faith. I've been a Baha'i for just a short time, almost 50 years, and I'm still learning what that means and how to become a better Baha'i. It's really a lifelong process, just like being a human being. You know, we get better all the time. We're little by little, day by day. We need to work on ourselves. The theme for ThanksGVIN this year is Cultivating Community Stronger Together. One thing I noticed about this wonderful theme is that the word community includes another very significant word, unity. Somehow I hadn't really realized that before. That can't be a coincidence. And as a person who happens to really enjoy words and their meanings, it makes me happy that unity is part of community. How could community exist without unity? And after all, unity is at the heart of the Baha'i teachings, so it's extra significant for me personally. One of the most famous of Baha'u'llah's writings, which many of you have heard, at least part of it, is this. The utterance of God is a lamp, whose light is these words. Ye are the fruits of one tree and the leaves of one branch. Deal ye with one another with the utmost love and harmony, with friendliness and fellowship. He who is the day star of truth beareth me witness. So powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth. Baha'u'llah wrote that statement in the 1860s. Take that in. Unity means oneness. It also means a condition of harmony and accord. Unity has become in our 21st century a word that is frequently heard and a goal that is yearned for by most people on our planet. Of course, achieving unity requires a great deal of time, effort, and dedicated action. I think that's why cultivating community is so very important and so very necessary. I'd like to share with you briefly what Baha'is are doing. Members of the Baha'i faith are a part of a global community built on local connections. In Grand Junction, as well as in neighborhoods throughout Colorado, across the country, and all over the world, in more than 100,000 cities, towns, and villages, Baha'is and their friends are engaged in a community building process that cultivates love and translate it into action. Yes, we actually call our activities community building. We've been calling them that for quite a long time. Baha'i community activities, which include prayer gatherings, Study groups and activities for children and teens are open to all and take place in homes and community centers all over the United States and in nearly every country and territory around the world, sometimes little teeny islands. It's no secret that America is going through a really tumultuous time. Baha'is are committed to helping reshape society around principles of oneness, such as love, inclusivity, and reciprocity. We hope to join hands with the countless like-minded people working for these same goals, and we invite everyone to take a look at our approach. Sharing a brief quote from the Universal House of Justice, which is the international administrative body of the Baha'i Faith, located in Haifa, Israel. It is with such thoughts in mind that Baha'is enter into collaboration as their resources permit, with an increasing number of movements, organizations, groups, and individuals, establishing partnerships that strive to transform society and further the cause of unity, promote human welfare, and contribute to world solidarity. I'd like to conclude with this quotation from Abdul Baha, who is the son of the prophet founder of the Baha'i Faith, Baha'u'llah. And we are observing later this week the 100th anniversary of Abdul Baha's passing. So it's a very significant holy day for Baha'is, and we're hoping to share some things about Abdul Baha with the rest of our community. So he was a truly remarkable individual. Abdul Baha said, "Love ye all religions and all races with a love that is true and sincere, and show that love through deeds and not through the tongue. For the latter hath no importance, as the majority of men are in speech well-wishers, while action is the best." I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. I also wish you much joy and success in all of your efforts, large and small, to help cultivate community and help achieve unity. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. And now I welcome Gail Alves up from the Universal Peace Federation and Women's Federation for World Peace.
Thank you, everyone. What a great program so far. It's a little awkward just looking into the screen. Wendy introduced me already, so I won't repeat that, but I am part of Reverend and Mrs. Moon's spiritual movement, and Universal Peace Federation and Women's Federation are two of our peace organizations. Community for me is where everyone is welcome at the table, no matter your race, culture, religion, language, gender, politics, class, or age. The Thanksgiving table is coming up for everyone soon. Will we be embracing hosts to all of our family members, even those who rub us the wrong way? Or will we be the guests at someone else's table? And will they and everyone else be glad that we came? I have found that if I take time to pray and prepare my heart before I go into a social situation, then I'm better equipped to digest all kinds of people. Then I don't readily just react when someone says something, but I can take a moment to reflect before I open my mouth. And it is easier to be warm and embracing. As we all know, life is all about relationships, and community is all about relationships. The more open-minded we are, the more we invite God to be the center of our community, And the better we are at forming and sustaining healthy relationships, the stronger and more encompassing our community can be. In our faith, we refer to 4 kinds of fallen natures or unheavenly natures that we believe that we all spiritually inherited because of the fall of man. We'll touch briefly on 2. The first is not seeing from God's point of view. If I only see from my humanistic point of view, then many times I can easily criticize or judge someone. If I work to see someone from God's point of view, then I discover many good parts of that person I hastily overlooked, and the relationship goes much more smoothly. The fourth is multiplication of evil. We want others to be brought into something we have done that is not quite right, so we feel justified and less judged for our wrongdoings. Or we want to influence others to look down on someone else. Gossip and slander are part of this. What good little gossips we all are, that we can be, right? So let's leave our Thanksgiving tables this year, giving thanks in our minds, our hearts, and from our lips. And let's allow only good things about others to roll off our tongues. Have a happy and blessed Thanksgiving, and let's all go beyond ourselves to create a beautiful, multifaceted community here in Grand Junction. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. And our final speaker tonight is Deacon Gail Britt, and she is representing American and Shepherd of the Valley Lutheran churches.
Good evening. I'm Deacon Gail Britt with Shepherd of the Valley Lutheran and American Lutheran churches in Grand Junction. My thanks to the Grand Valley Interfaith Network for this opportunity to share some of my thoughts about this year's theme for the ThanksGVIN service. I'm a minister of hope and healing for a very unique community. I provide spiritual care for members of the congregations who are homebound in nursing homes and assisted living facilities, and provide in-person and online bereavement services for church members who have lost loved ones. As you might imagine, it's a community of some of the most vulnerable among us, who since the onset of the pandemic have been unable to safely gather together to share their stories of grief and loss. Over these past 2 years, I wondered how I could possibly help this community on my own when I realized, hey, Deacon Gail, that's not how it works. That's when I witnessed the congregations coming forward as community to lift up those most in need, in prayer and in service. Last year, spiritual care packages were packed and delivered by church members to the nearly 30 people who had been isolated from their faith communities. At another project, nearly 300 holiday cards were collected and distributed to the homebound between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Again this year, another card drive will get underway, all thanks to the community of the faithful who have not forgotten those whom they've missed for so long. The late Henry Nouwen, a renowned theologian, had this to say about community. Community is, first of all, a quality of the heart. It grows from the spiritual knowledge that we are alive, not for ourselves, but for one another. Community is the fruit of our capacity to make the interests of others more important than our own. The question, therefore, is not how can we make community, but how can we develop and nurture giving hearts? Yes, we are stronger. Yes, we are all benefiting when we give of ourselves for the sake of our neighbors. May blessings and peace in your community be with you and your loved ones this holiday season.
Our closing music this evening is Namaste by our Unitarian Universalist Choir. If here you have found freedom, take it with you into the world. If you have found comfort, go and share it with others. If you have dreamed dreams, help one another that theirs may come true. If you have known love, give some back to a bruised and hurting world. Go now in peace. Amen.